Ask the question again. Is everyone refreshed from the coffee break? Yes! Wonderful. Well, as refreshing as coffee and water is, we have something far more, which are the views of some amazing panelists who are going to be looking at why we should be investing more into the 4 countries that make up the Visegrad Group, along with the Netherlands, as it is the host country today. What we're going to do with this fine panel of people is give them 3 minutes to introduce themselves, and then we're going to go into some questions that I've prepared and they know in advance. If you don't want to hear robotic, formulaic answers, then you need to come up with new questions that you want to put towards our panel today. And they are all in the mood for unprepared questions, aren't you?
Sure.
Yes.
Always.
I'm not sure I quite believe them, but I'd really like to see them put on the spot. But let's start across, as we've been doing today, because it's the way within the Visegrad Group, of starting with Slovakia. My Slovakian panelist, who are you, and what makes Slovakia so very special?
Thank you, Keith. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Stanislava, and I work for SARIO, which is Slovak Investment and Foreign Trade Development Agency.
Is it on? I think it's on. Why don't we move to the next microphone? There we go.
This is better?
Yes.
So basically, we are operating under the Ministry of Economy of the Slovak Republic. So we are a governmental agency, and we provide support to potential investors. It means investors who are considering Slovakia as a potential location for their investments. So we provide investment incentives, consultancy, real estate consultancy. Basically, we provide support during the whole decision-making process and implementation of the project.
Perfect.
But now, I believe that Slovakia from the Visegrad Group countries is the least known, so I will try to do my best to present it.
Wonderful. Do we have a slide of Slovakia? There should be a slide that comes up on the 2 screens. It's coming in a moment, but I know you can introduce it.
Of course. Well, so Slovakia is a tiny market. It's a very small country. Nevertheless, it has very beneficial geographical location and also very dynamic GDP growth. So what stands behind is human capital. We have very innovative and cost-effective and qualified labor force, and many inventions were born in Slovakia. Historically, I can mention, for example, parachute or helicopter from more than 100 years ago. And nowadays, many big companies are worldwide known. I would mention, for example, Asset. Maybe you are familiar with that. It's antivirus software, or Eco Capsule, which might be your Eco Home, Eco Office, Eco Hotel, or Eco Cottage. That means that the time is over, right?
No, you've still got plenty of time. And your slide has appeared on one of our 2 monitors.
Okay, and you can see also Aeromobile, which is the most advanced prototype of flying car. And this idea is also, or was born in Slovakia.
Super. Any other pearl of wisdom you'd like to give out in this introduction?
Well, probably I can continue with this branding of Good Idea Slovakia, which also explains that Slovakia, thanks to its labor force, which is not only creative but also entrepreneurial and innovative, it's a generator of great ideas. And basically what stands behind it's the innovative potential of the country.
Yeah, I have to say it is actually supposed to look like a rocket ship, so it moves around very easily. So if you're trying to rest your feet and enjoy yourself on this panel, I'm afraid not. Feet stay off the bar. Sorry to interrupt you. But I think you were saying a little bit about Good Idea Slovakia. Mm-hmm. And how long has this campaign been going on?
It was created like 2 years ago. So, and I was just explaining that what stands behind is innovative potential of the country and plenty of small startups which are creating their ecosystem, not only in Bratislava, which is the capital of Slovakia, but also in other regional cities.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Round of applause, please. We move on to Hungary. Christian.
Thank you very much. From Hungary. I'm Christian. I'm working with the National Research and Development and Innovation Agency of Hungary. I built and developed. Now I don't have any PPTs. Nobody said that I should bring some PPTs, but I can speak a lot. So
you still have 3 minutes. So good.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I built and sold 2 startups, and now after that I worked as a freelance trainer and built in the field of business development management, and now I'm working for the innovation agency, innovation office, to help build Hungary a more livable and supportive startup ecosystem to help our new startups and new young innovators to grow and earn success on the global market as well. Not just in Hungary, because Hungary not the biggest country in the world.
But you're also an advisor towards the president, so you're willing to look at new ideas or new cooperations that you can put as an advice towards the Hungarian government.
Yeah, this is my base of my work, the quite of expertise. The ideas I founded or came up with to making a companies. Now I'm thinking about solutions, how to solve problems in the startup field, and as the advisor of the president, maybe I will succeed to change things.
Well, change is good. Round of applause, please. And onwards to the Czech Republic.
Hi, hello. My name is Lucy. I'm from the Czech Republic, working for Czech Invest, which is business and development agency, reporting to the Ministry of Industry and Trade. Why startups? Because one of 2 main activities of Czech Invest is helping SMEs to succeed not only in the Czech Republic, but also globally. So that's also what we are trying to do with startup companies and help them really to expand their activities to the foreign markets. So happy to have 4 companies that we are working with also here in Rotterdam. So thank you guys for being here. And some more information about me. I have been working for banking sector for 4 years, 2 years actually here in the Netherlands in Amsterdam, doing a bit of also fintech innovation. And then I went back to the Czech Republic and now working for Czech Invest. What we are trying to do in Czech Invest, so far we have helped around 300 Czech startup companies to expand their activities. We are also working a lot on the governmental innovation strategy, which is new as of the beginning of this year. So Czech Invest is responsible for the startup activities, but also the ecosystem, as you were also talking about it. So that's same for Czech Invest. And what is good about the Czech Republic and about the startup companies, I think we have a great tradition of industry and industrial engineering, and we are really trying also to follow on it with high-tech innovations and value-added startup companies. So that's what we are proud of, and having really skillful engineers in the Czech Republic and also people with innovative mindset. So that's what we are happy about. Thank you, guys.
Perfect. Thank you. On to the home nation.
Since we are the host, I would like to pass the microphone to my colleague, and then I get the floor. For the sake of our hospitality.
Delightful. We pass on.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Will. My name is Alexander Shimashko, and I represent Poland. I represent the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and Technology, which is basically a fancy name for a Ministry of Economy. But we do focus on the tech issues, the startups, the innovations. What to say about Poland? Well, there's no way of putting it differently. We're big, we're huge. We see ourselves as the innovation and tech hub in Central Europe. And luckily for us, we think that a lot of global companies see these things similarly. We're the only country east to London, well, Warsaw is the only city east to London and west to Seoul to host a Google campus and a number of other international companies, not to mention Polish startups, obviously, who are growing quite fast. We are the champion of European growth. I think we're second after Malta. Well, shout out to Maltese and congrats to them, but we still feel good about ourselves. Someone has to. Thank you.
I can see that Poland is going to have a lot to say in this panel discussion today.
Why choose Poland? Well, two things. First of all, a large domestic market full of young entrepreneurial people. We've got 10 million people aged 25 or below. Every year we put in the market around 300,000 graduates. Over 1,200,000 students study in Poland right now. And our innovations and patents are exploding. Only last year, the number of patents submitted by Polish companies to the European Patent Office grew by 20%. Well, if we keep it that way, and we hope we do, we're on our way up.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. And over to the host nation.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome all of you here. First of all, let me thank Mr. Ambassador, Mr. Roman Ludzic, for inviting us here. Welcome here to this place. Welcome to Rotterdam. Welcome to one of the biggest hubs here in Rotterdam. My name is Nasrat Popal. I work for the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, which is a bit similar to the agencies that my colleagues are working for. As you know, we have a nice country, a nice weather. Our public transportation is very well organized. So this is my pitch for the Netherlands. But just let's go to a serious pitch of mine. You can see a slide over there. Why the Netherlands? I think the Netherlands, as you can see, we are the number one most connected country. Our infrastructure, digital infrastructure is working very well. We are the number two most innovative economy in the world. And we are number three startup ecosystem in Europe and number 15 in the world, actually, since the last genome ranking that published at the Next Web in Amsterdam 2 weeks ago. So I think there are obvious reasons to be in the Netherlands as you're a startup or a scale-up. Me, myself, we started a kind of startup by ourselves within our organization to see how we can do and how we can support Dutch startups to grow and expand, as well as foreign startups from maybe your countries to come over to the Netherlands and settle here. So this is also the main objective and aim of our policy. I have some colleagues also from our Ministry of Foreign Affairs here, and also from our side. We want to help our startups to grow and expand internationally and become the next unicorn, as we call it. And we want to support foreign startups and scale-ups to come to the Netherlands and help them grow and become a big unicorn as well here.
Thank you very much indeed. Our audience today is made up of investors and entrepreneurs. I think we should keep that in mind. I believe Visegrad was the place where a number of royals came together to have great cooperation. But this panel is not about cooperation. It's about setting each country apart from the other and figuring out what's special and how the individual countries can work together. So I do hope if you hear people agreeing too much, you're going to show your displeasure. Because we need to see the true differences between the countries and what truly makes them unique for foreign investment, for the incentives for companies as well as for foreign investors or investors that are coming there. So I think we start there. What does make the country unique, and why should a foreign investor step directly to your country rather than one of the others?
First question. Why is it unique? I think if you're saying innovation and Hungary in the same sentence, half of the people are saying that, I know, what was that? It's Rubik's Cube, I know. And the second one was the modern people like, Prezi, I know Prezi, it's from Hungary, right? But I think Hungary is not about a few and big successes. I think that our startup ecosystem and innovation ecosystem will be at least in the future, but we're working on it pretty hard, that the many innovators, home of many innovators and home of many new startups. So we are now working a countrywide education system to help build the young people the way of thinking, like educate this kind of innovation mindset, because I think it's not just Hungary, it's I think a global problem that innovation, the people thinking about innovation as a big word what companies do, but I think innovation is a mindset, innovation the way that you think and you dare to do things differently and try to find solutions for a problem on an innovative way. So if we can educate this kind of way of thinking, we can many more and more quality ideas and quality startups on the market. So not just many, but many quality startups who can live and not falling in the valley of death in the first year.
So both Hungary and Poland are playing. They want to have very big ecosystems, and things will come out of them. But what do you mean in Hungary in terms of incentives for the entrepreneurs, incentives for the investors that put money into startups? What's available?
Currently, we have tax refunds, like for angel investors, for VCs. We have, I think we have few incentives, but now I think in a half year there's going to be a big package of modifications going to decision-making level to the parliament, which is aiming exactly the investors. So why is it going to be sexy to invest in Hungarian startup or innovation ecosystem?
Super, thank you. Let's pass the mic across to Slovakia. We heard something over education and innovation being at the heart of Hungarian ecosystem. How does Slovakia differ? It's of a slightly different size, but are there other aspects that make it unique and special?
Well, I think Visegrad Group countries are very similar. Nevertheless, there are some relative advantages for each of them. I'm very confident and proud to say that Slovakia has progressed the most in terms of pro-European approach and pro-European integration, as we are the only country with the euro. We adopted euro in 2009, and this brought us a bunch of benefits, such as financial and economic stability, and also growth of foreign trade. So this is something which is very important, I would say, for foreign investors. So we are basically on the first place in terms of openness of the economy, and we belong to the most industrialized countries in the European Union. We are the world leader in automotive industry. Well, in terms of car production per capita, 198 cars are produced per 1,000 inhabitants. And nowadays we are basically in the process of transformation of this economy towards 4.0 industry or manufacturing.
And in terms of incentives for the foreign investor or for an investor who's here to put money into a Slovakian company, what's available from the ministry or the other agencies?
Well, the priority of the government, of the Slovak government, is our investments into R&D. So there is, for example, R&D super deduction scheme, which basically allows you to deduct your cost invested into R&D twice. Firstly, in normal accounting, and secondly, in tax declaration as deductible costs. So if I calculate it, just for your imagination, for each 1,000 euros invested into R&D activities, you can save 210 euros, and this is going to increase by 2021 twice.
Super. Thank you very much indeed. Let's pass along to the Czech Republic. You know the question. What makes the Czech Republic so special when it comes to ecosystem for entrepreneurs and investors?
Yeah, I wanted to say beer production. We have the best beer in the region, so that was the first thing that came into my mind. So if you would like to taste some good beer, so definitely come to the Czech Republic and you can make business there. So that was the first thing. But
you're really leading on beer.
I think
well
so.
Done.
Also on the production, both production and consumption, actually. So
fine.
Yeah, but coming back to your question basically about investment and about the other things, I think what is great about the Czech Republic is a very solid academic sphere that is supporting innovation. So we have really universities in all the main regions in the Czech Republic. So that's one thing. We have really strong activity on patenting and registering trademarks. So that's also really specific about Czech Republic, I think. Still, for the companies that are coming to the Czech Republic to set their business, we have very favorable labor costs and very skillful engineers there. So that's a really great combination, into my opinion. And then what to say from the statistics from my point of view, if you look at the V4 countries, looking at the European Innovation Scoreboard, first place Czech Republic, looking at the Global Innovation Index, first place among V4 countries, Czech Republic, looking at the Global Competitiveness Index, also the first one is the Czech Republic among V4 countries. So that's what we like. Yeah.
I think the
Czech cool. Hey.
Yeah.
No, but really, we are trying to follow on the industrial tradition that we have in the Czech Republic. So we want to follow on this tradition that has been made there, and we are trying to follow on it with high-tech companies. But just to say, it's not only about industrial innovation. I think quite strong is ICT sector. You have seen one company from cybersecurity today. Also, everyone knows like Avast, the unicorn story, which comes from the Czech Republic. So that's good about the Czech Republic, and that's what we like about it. About what we are lacking, it's still, I would say investment for seed funding for startup companies. We have like many private VCs and business angels. We don't have like really structural system of incentives for them. Government is now working on that heavily. We have, of course, some incentives for R&D sectors, so that is fine. But I think we are still looking for more and more investors that are coming, but bringing not only money, but also smart money and really helping startups to evolve, also companies to settle their activities in the CEE region and in the Czech Republic. So that's what we are looking for.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Then we pass across to Poland. They're the biggest, but it sounds like the Czech Republic are the best in many different areas.
Well, we like our Czech neighbours. We like our Czech neighbours, and I think it's a very friendly competition. And I like the idea that first the companies pitch their sales, and now the countries try to pitch those sales to companies. I think that's very healthy, actually. When it comes to Poland, let me just tell you a very short story. Since we are the only country that did not endured recession in the last 30 years amongst OECD countries. So after a few years of 4% growth all the time, we thought that we might be hitting some kind of wall soon enough. So what we did is we went back to the drawing board and we thought how to avoid this middle income trap. So we revamped our investment support and trade support system completely. We have created a new Polish investment and trade agency, which has one of the trade offices here in Amsterdam. I mean, almost here in Amsterdam, but close enough. And I encourage you to contact them if you are interested in getting to know your Polish partners or investing in Poland or looking for contractors in Poland. We created a sovereign fund, Polish Development Fund, which actually offers access to VC, offers accelerating programs for startups and companies. So it's all there, and it all can be counted into billions of euros, actually. We introduced two distinctive systems, I think. One is the system for innovation and startup support. It's called Start in Poland, and it then also includes a dedicated program for foreign companies or foreign investors or inventors who want to come to Poland and start their startup or scale their startup up in Poland. They can get around 60,000 euro grant just to begin with, along with mentoring, along with business support, along with all that stuff that actually really matters. Then we obviously introduced tax breaks for R&D, up to 100%, and in some areas in Poland actually can deduct up to 150% of R&D costs, including employment costs for researchers. So these are the fiscal incentives. We also introduced an IP box. So if you manage to have actually a product that brings you income, licensing fees, or just you sell the products, or you get income from your patents or intellectual property in any other way, you only pay 5% corporate tax. along with all the other bonuses I've mentioned. We've reformed our investment support system, so now we can reach Poland became a single investment zone, so anywhere you invest in Poland, you're eligible to get tax deductions. Now that investment differs. Obviously, if you invest in Warsaw or Wrocław or one of the champions of growth, you get less because it's easier, and we don't want to make it too easy for you guys. But you invest a bit, areas which are a bit.
For the press that are out there, let's make that the line that you take away. We don't want to make it too easy.
Well, challenges are stimulated, actually, I think. If you're not willing to be challenged, But if you invest in some underdeveloped regions, you can get around 50% of tax deduction for 15 years. We scale it down and up depending on your size of the company and depending on the qualities of your investment, whether it's a green investment, whether it's socially responsible. So if you fulfill this criteria, you can get very generous handouts, given that you are investing in R&D and high-quality jobs, which I'm sure you are.
Super. Thank you very much.
Thank you.